Hi, I'm Dr. Phillip Snell with FixYourOwnBack.com. If you've had a injury to your disc or if you've had a flexion intolerant pattern of back pain, learning to manage heavy weight at your job or in the gym is incredibly important. Learning about particularly risky movements that produce an injury vector for that part of your body is information that you need to be able to be very conversant with. Information about how to brace your spine when you're under load is very important as well. Today I'm very pleased to be joining Chris Duffin, current world record holder in the raw squat at a body weight of 220 pounds. And his facility here in Portland, Oregon, Elite Performance Center, where we currently have several world champion athletes working right now. Thanks for coming in, Chris.
Not a problem.
I wonder what it is that you guys have managed to do in this simple little facility and this simple little town to create so much excellence. What do you think is some of the keys that you guys are doing here?
People often think it's the secret program, but we have a lot of people that do a lot of different training programs here. But there is a key, and the key is we focus on the movement. We do the movement correctly, and we create an environment that supports the coaching of that movement and also supports pushing everybody for excellence. So it becomes down to, doing the movement properly, having the right environment to train in, and the right tools to train with.
That's excellent. And one of the interesting things about what the two of us standing here brings to the table is this environment is not the world that I work in. I'm a rehab guy. I fix things when they break. This guy takes things to the next level in performance. We work together because a lot of my work is on helping to correct faulty movement patterns. And then when they get into an environment like this with people like Chris, they take that better or that improved movement and then build on it for performance. And the proof is in the pudding with what you guys have been able to create right here.
It is. At any one time, we have multiple people ranked #1 in the world or holding world records.
Excellent. Now, from my vantage point and for the purpose of the site here at Fix Your Own Back, we want to really focus on an understanding of the primary injury vector for the lumbar spine with a flexion intolerant back. It's rounding here, under a load or with repetition or with prolonged static postures sitting in a slump position. That, once you've sensitized your body to that particular movement pattern, can be picked up for years and can start to raise alarm bells that we want to try to silence and get a better movement pattern ingrained in that individual. Chris, let's talk bracing strategies. This is an area that you and I have had a lot of fun with over the last 2 or 3 years of playing together. Those familiar with the Fix Your Own Back site know that on Chapter 3, we talk a bit about some of Stuart McGill's work and that model of spine stabilization, seeing the spine sort of like a tower supported by the guy wires of the muscles around it. Well, there's another area of interest that I've had over the years of working with Pavel Kolaj's material out of the DNS, Dynamic Neuromuscular Stabilization Camp, out of the Czech Republic. And their model of stabilization is a bit different than McGill's, and putting the two of those together in different ways seems to be particularly helpful. Briefly, the Prague model suggests that we stabilize the spine most efficiently by using intra-abdominal pressure created by the opposition of the diaphragm and the pelvic floor, and then regulated by using the surrounding muscles of the abdominal wall to help to brace the spine in that position. Now, when we've taken that, put that to use in the clinic, it's often very difficult for us to try to teach a person some of those movements. It seems to take a long time. One of the fascinating things in working with this guy has been, as they've empirically taken that information into the gym and use some other cues, we found some relatively simple ways of getting a person to brace using intra-abdominal pressure like that. Tell me a little bit about what you guys have learned in terms of your cueing strategies for that, Chris.
So yeah, it's definitely had a huge impact for us and for myself personally. It's one of the things that's taken my squat to the next level. And it very much comes down to, we use a lot of extrinsic cues to help people visualize what they're supposed to be focused on. And would you like me to go through some of those specific cues that we're using?
Yeah, let's do some of that.
Okay. So the first thing that I like to cue lifters to do is creating that intra-abdominal pressure. So we think about pushing down and out, kind of pushing our lower abdomen out towards our legs, and basically pushing down the cylinder or pressurizing or pulling it down. At the same time, we focus, and a lot of times it's used as a physical cue where I'll start by pushing someone in the side to get them to cue inflating those obliques. So we'll balloon that out. And if you're thinking about that cue of pushing down at the same time on that cylinder, that is what's going to happen. This is all going to go out, so it's all tied together in here. And then we create this big belly here, but this right here is what we try to focus on getting our lifters to be able to do. And it does help actually having a lifter with a weight belt as well, because we can cue them to also just push out against that belt, and even push out in the back here as well is another cue that we may use with some of our lifters, where we're trying to inflate all the way through into that belt. But that physical resistance there, one, it does help to provide support, but it also helps with the cueing strategy as well.
In clinic, another thing that we've noticed that's particularly helpful is using some of the stuff that Stuart McGill recently wrote a paper about. I'll put a link to that paper down here on the bottom of the video. But it's the concept of creating sort of an iron body, as he refers to it, as borrowing from some of the strategies used in some Japanese martial arts, particularly Okinawan styles of karate, where we put people in particular positions, movement patterns, stop them, and then look for soft spots. And the soft spots, similar to what Chris was talking about, using a cue like this, their cues are a little more vigorous. They'll come in and actually throw punches or kicks occasionally, depending on the school, and try to look for those soft spots and see if you can actually create that rooting all the way down into the floor and create it in with this area too. And I've seen in clinic that it seems to be one of the quickest ways to get a person very conversant with this area and how to actually use it. And the area specifically we're looking for is out here, not right here. Look for those soft spots in the obliques out here. Let's take that over to a squat rack and see what that looks like when we actually start putting it into the movement itself.